Hello. This is Antje from Byte Shuffle. Thank you for always watching our videos. This time, I've put together a guide on how to play the Doomsday mirror match, including strategy and sideboard plans. There's also a link to the pile breakdown video in the description, so feel free to check it out. Here is the deck list we will be using this time. Everything looks fine except for the Lion's Eye Diamond, so I'll keep this hand. Since they probably have Brainstorm ready, I'll start with Ponder. I'm digging for Doomsday. I stacked the top as Dark Ritual Doomsday Personal Tutor, then drew. I'll use discard to check what's ahead. The opponent cast Ponder and chose not to shuffle. Surveil's effect leaves it on top of the library. I'm digging for a disruption spell. I put back 2 fetch lands. From here, I'm going to start making my move. I'm going to dig for Force of Will. Didn't find it, so I shuffle. To play around days, I played out Lion's Eye Diamond first. I'll counter it with Force of Will. In their exile zone, there are 2 Flusterstorms, 3 Dazes, 2 Thoughtseizes, 1 Street Wraith, and 1 Jace Wielder of Mysteries. Looks like they're not running Quantum Riddler. Since my opponent has all 4 Forces of Will and a Cavern of Souls in exile, if I flip into Force of Will, there's still a chance to make it in time. I'm going to dig for Force of Will. Didn't find it, so I shuffle. It looks like my opponent is running 5 Cyclers, 3 Street Wraiths and 2 Edges of Autumn. Before sideboarding, I'd like to review the list we used. First, the conclusion. I will explain it step by step. These are the key cards to keep in mind for the Doomsday mirror match. First, there are all the counter spells, Force of Will, Daze, Flusterstorm, Force of Negation, and Consign to Memory. And the discard spells like Duress and Thoughtseize. To deal with those, I bring in Tameo Inquisitive Student and Duress. In exchange, I cut down on some mana-related cards like Cabal Ritual, Lotus Petal, and Swamp. That's because the matchup often turns into an exchange of disruption, which makes it take longer to assemble the combo, so speed-oriented cards become less valuable. Since both decks slow down in this matchup, once Tameo hits the battlefield, she can become a powerful source of card advantage. Next are the creatures, Sheoldred the Apocalypse, Murktide Regent, Tameo Inquisitive Student, and Orcish Bowmasters. Which of these creatures are included really depends on the player's individual list. Among these, against Tameo and Orcish Bowmasters, I bring in Long Goodbye, mostly just as a small safety measure. Next, I bring in Sheoldred, the Apocalypse, which can be a critical threat in this matchup. This one's a bit questionable, but I'll add Barrowgoyf as well. It's not the most reliable choice since my opponent might be running Orcish Bowmasters, but I'll include it just in case. If you're running other creatures, I think those would probably be the better choice instead. In exchange, I take out all the personal tutors. Depending on how you look at it, it might also be reasonable to skip the questionable Barrowgoyf and keep 2 personal tutors instead. Next, I bring in Extirpate. This works well in combination with discard spells. And after taking out their Doomsday with 1, it can shut down one of their main win conditions. That's because after your opponent's Doomsday resolves, you can sometimes randomize their pile to buy yourself another turn. Next, I bring in Vision Charm. That's because after your opponent resolves Doomsday, using the mill 4 cards mode can sometimes turn the game around. In exchange, I cut down on the number of days and Edge of Autumn. I probably would have kept this hand if the land in it weren't a Surveil land. After checking their hand with a discard spell, it looks like I don't have a clear win condition, so it's tough, but I'll take a mulligan. I'll put Force of Will and a dual land on the bottom. I'll use Discard to check what's ahead. I took out Thoughtseize. Since my opponent has Force of Negation, I'll try to push through with the creature plan. I'm digging for land. I stacked the top as Extirpate Dark Ritual Tameo Inquisitive Student, then drew. I'll name Wizard and cast Tameo. Surveil's effect sends it to the graveyard. My opponent shuffled off a Ponder. I'll cast Barrogoyf off Dark Ritual to start applying pressure. For Game 3, I adjusted my sideboarding like this. I brought in 2 Force of Negations and 1 Flusterstorm. And took out 2 Dazes. And 1 Lion's Eye Diamond. This hand looks like it can handle my opponent's early combo lines, and even if my first attempt gets stopped, I've got a follow-up, so I'll keep. My opponent shuffled off a Ponder. In exile, there are 4 Forces of Will, 2 Forces of Negation, 2 Flusterstorms, and 3 Dazes. There's a chance they have a 3rd Flusterstorm or a 4th Daze, but it doesn't seem like they have many counters left overall. Since my opponent's library is down to 4 cards or fewer, it's time to go for the win. Thank you for watching up to this point. I apologize for the many play mistakes. I hope to improve at MTG together with everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel and giving it a thumbs up. See you next time. This is Antya.